So I was blessed growing up that my family used to rent a house in a beach town in my home country of Uruguay with our entire family, all my cousins, all my uncles and aunts. It was an incredible experience. And there was one that I will never forget. We were in this gorgeous house with a pool in the backyard, relatively close to the beach. And there was a lot of us there. We were hanging out in the pool at that time. I was the only one in the pool. Like, people were running around all over the place. My parents were talking to another couple, some friends. And as a kid, I always tried to show my parents things. Like, when I learned something new, I learned a new trick. I was trying a new trick. I was juggling a soccer ball. I was playing around with a soccer ball and doing new things. And I was always like, Mom, look. Dad, look. And that was me, like 24/7. I had so much energy, and I always wanted to show them and make them a part of my journey of my new skill. And I remember very clearly this time that it was the first time that I got into the deep end of the pool. Long story, but I actually fell, and then my fear went away. I'll make a video about that. But then I couldn't believe that I was jumping into the deep end of the pool. So I was like, Mom, look. And I jumped. And then I came out. Dad, look. Mom, look. And I would jump. And that kept going forever. And then at some point, they were talking to the couple that I mentioned. And I was like, Mom, look. And I was about to jump, and they were looking at me, right? I look back at the pool. I'm about to jump. But I look back at them to say something, and they were already not looking. They were talking to each other again. And I will never forget how painful that felt at the time. I felt, if I honor my feelings, if I don't filter it, if I don't try to talk wisdom and whatever, if I honor exactly what my experience was, I felt neglected, I felt ignored, and there were many painful emotions at the time. So I just looked back, jumped in the pool, and I was pretty sad for the rest of the day. I was pretty sad. They had no idea that I saw that. They had no idea that I was in pain. They had no way to know that I felt that way. So I started thinking, like, there's something wrong with me. What is it that I need to change? Why is it that my parents don't want to pay any attention to me? Why is it that they don't care about me? Like, if I'm honest enough, I thought those things at the time. I was a kid. Of course, we think those things. And I grew up my entire life with those thoughts in the back of my mind. When I was growing up, my mother owned a hair salon, and my dad, together with my mom, they owned the restaurant. And that was a ton of work, a ton of hours, because the restaurant was like a bar at night, like a pub kind of thing. So my dad, he would have to work, like open up early in the day, go home for a break, take a nap, come back until crazy hours in the night. They had a lot going on. My mother had her own business and trying to help with this, but there was so much going on, so they were stressed out of their minds. So when we were in vacation, of course, they needed a little time for themselves. They needed a little break. I know now as an adult that having a kid 24/7 there yelling, Mom, look, Dad, look, I know that's impossible to keep up with that. Impossible. So it's useful sometimes when we have those wounds, we need to honor the wounds. Please. I love what Candice Vandell, she says this, and I say this a lot, but I'm not trying to like steal it from her. She was the one that I learned it from, but she says, get real about how you feel if you want to heal. She says it's slightly different, but I like how this sounds. So we need to honor our experience. We need to honor even the way that we saw it, even the way that we felt it, even if that's not the way that it exactly happened. We need to honor that. I've been saying this for years because it's been transformed my life and my journey, my healing journey. We need to realize, this is something else that she said, that she said it's not my fault that I'm wounded. It's not my fault that I felt this way. It's not my fault that I looked at it this way. You probably have heard of the phrase that everyone does the best they can with where they're at. I was a kid, right? I can't expect to look at it from the eyes of the Buddha. At that age, it's okay. It's okay that I felt pain. It's okay that everything happened exactly that way, because it was probably exactly what I needed. Growing up, we all of us go through our experiences, our wounds, our stuff, because maybe it's exactly what we need for our journey in a beautiful and very empowering way. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. We can't heal our wounds through shame. We can't heal our wounds through guilt. If those are part of your experience, please honor that. Like I said, please get real about how you feel. If you want to heal, we start there. We start with authenticity, with being honest about how we feel. And then you can put yourself in their shoes. Like I said, I know that it was impossible. They were talking to another couple. It would have been disrespectful for them to every time I yelled, like, to just stare at me for 5 minutes every time. Like the couple was there talking to them. It would have been impossible, like energy-wise, to keep up with me as a kid. They would have to constantly drink coffee, and it was impossible. I was a very energetic kid at different stages in my life. I know that it was impossible to keep up with me. So when I start to realize those things, I always say we all have our own glasses. We all have our own set of glasses. Like we all see the world through our perspective. All of us have different pair of glasses. Every time you have new awareness, every time you learn a new insight, every time you have a new aha moment, you change the pair of glasses that you see the world through. So now, the more I started to kind of heal, the more I started to see things from a different place, the more that my glasses kind of changed and evolved throughout the years. So now when I see my experience, without trying to change what happened, without trying to add positive thinking, that's a topic for another video, make sure you're subscribed, without trying to force negative thinking into my experience, into my past, I can now see everything from a different place, from those different pair of glasses. We start to rewire, even rewiring our brain, rewiring how we see the world, rewiring how we're seeing the present, and rewiring how we see the past. That's a pretty cool thing in my opinion. I always felt like I had too much energy as a kid. I was too loud, I talked too much, I ran around too much, way too much energy. That was how I saw my journey growing up. That was how I saw myself growing up. And the more new glasses that I tried on, the more I realized that I thought it was my behavior that was always wrong. And I realized my parents were stressed out of their minds. They had way too much on their plates. Way too much on their plates. Way more than any human should have on their plate. Way more pressure than I ever realized as a kid. Way more stress. They were way more tired and exhausted than I knew as a kid. And they had their own stuff, their own wounds, their own past, their own journeys. And now they were taking care of 2 little kids. That's a lot of responsibility. I know that. I know that now. So my new pair of glasses offers a lot of compassion. My new pair of glasses offers a lot of understanding, a lot of love. Without forcing it. I was able to put myself in their shoes without forcing it. I was able to put myself in their experience as much as humanly possible. And there's many of us that need to forgive our parents for many things that they've done. And maybe it's not crazy things. Maybe it's nothing that they did on purpose. Nothing in my childhood was something that they did on purpose because they're bad people. And I'm sorry for saying bad people. Like, there's a lot of parents in the past that it's not that they were bad people. They just had so many unhealed wounds that they couldn't handle. They couldn't. Yeah, that's a topic for another video. I'll make sure I talk about that. But we know hurt people hurt people. So in a way, and this is gonna sound crazy, it's not their fault. They probably had a very difficult past. I always blamed myself. I thought I was the reason why my parents were stressed when I noticed the stress. I blamed myself for everything. I thought I was the one that was causing the challenges and the stress and everything. And the more new pair of glasses that I tried, the more new ways of seeing things, the more I challenged my beliefs in a compassionate way, the more naturally I was healing wounds from the past. We do need to remember that it wasn't our fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault. It played out exactly how it needed to play out for our healing journey. And yes, we sometimes are healing generational wounds, ancestral wounds, and things that go very deep in family patterns. And sometimes it feels crazy, it feels unfair, it feels like why couldn't they heal their own shit so that they didn't have to? But that's the way life is. That's the crazy and beautiful and challenging part of this journey we call life. I invite you to now be the parent for yourself that you wish you had. What does your inner child need right now? What do you need? What do you need? Honor that. It's not easy. It's not easy, but honor that. Honor what you need. Honor what that wounded inner child needs right now. You might need to take a whole day for yourself, a whole weekend for yourself, a whole week. Whatever you can. I know we can't all do that, of course. You need to just yell and let it all out. You need to punch a pillow. You need to go out and play and dance and sing and act silly and bring out that inner child and let him play. Let her do whatever she wants to do. Let him go crazy and have fun. Play. We have too much work and too little play in our lives these days. Too many things on our to-do list, and very few of those, maybe none, are things that we truly want to do. Can you honor that? Can you be a little kinder to yourself than you've ever been? Can you be a little more compassionate to yourself today than you've ever? Can you love yourself in ways that no one else has ever been able to love you? You are the one that you need. So I hope something that I said today helps in some kind of way. And I'm not asking you to change any of your beliefs, and I'm not asking you to change how you see your past, but see if all the tools that I shared in this video helped. And ask yourself, if you see something in a very negative way and you can't come out of that pattern, ask yourself, is that absolutely true? Is that absolutely true? You can re-watch this video. I know there was a lot that I shared, but these are some of the things that have truly changed my life. I have a ton more videos coming in this. Make sure you're subscribed, notification. Check out these videos that I'll put up here. I truly hope it helped. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. Much love. I'll see you in the next video.